Okay, so welcome to today's session. In today's session, we're going to be talking about project management, tips, tricks, and everything else. I'm going to keep the chat open so that anybody can ask any questions in the meantime. If you want to drop your LinkedIn, if you want to introduce yourself, where you're from, what's your background. I don't know if people in here are interested in project management because they haven't heard about it before, or they already have some experience with project management and they want me to go through medium to higher level questions. So we'll see about that in the chat. But yeah, we can probably get started. So today, as I said, job expectations, best practices, and growth on remote project management. So as we're talking about online work and today's digital age, this has become a crucial skill because even if you're not a project manager, you need a lot of the skills that project managers do have to succeed in any online work. So it's always good to have a little bit of management in your own time, your own tasks, making sure that you're following up with expectations when people can't, in an office, when someone's working, when someone's not working, when it's remote. This is a little bit trickier. So there's a lot of challenges and also advantages to being a project manager, and we'll go through those. But first, I want to do a quick intro. I'm Valentina. I am from Colombia, and I have 5 years of project management experience. And this project management experience, actually, I've done healthcare, I've done a little bit of construction, and right now I'm in IT project management. I work for a agency that does Airtable implementations. So we're like partners with Airtable, and we get customers saying, I bought this Airtable package for 20 licenses and I don't even know how to put my workflow into Airtable. So I said, okay, that's my project. And I spearhead it from the start to the end until I give them that custom application or Airtable environment. So I've completed more than 50 projects for clients worldwide. Some of these projects have been, under my full-time job, which I have like my 9 to 5 with the company, and others have been through Upwork, more freelancing. Sometimes it's 2 weeks or sometimes it's 3 months that I do some projects for them. And this way I've been able to increase my salary, by 7 times compared to my first salary in Colombia, which was in construction. And yeah, I'm here because all this online info about remote work is sometimes confusing and ambiguous, and I don't think that it should be. We're putting so much taboo on, oh, like remote work, is this really true? Am I getting scammed? And, it's really simple and really easy to do. And today I want to talk about project management and how this is a good path you can take. It's a very sought out career path, and there's a lot of demand for it and a lot of offer too. But I'd say honestly, there's more demand than actual project managers right now. So it's a great time to step in and start building your abilities on project management. So we are going to do an overview of remote project management, what it takes to succeed in this role, then the essential skills, the tools and methodologies for project management specifically, because you'll hear a lot about those in job descriptions. And then at the end, a little bit of career growth. So as I was being asked, certifications, industries, and how can you advance in project management? So I just want to start by what is a project, because not a lot of people differentiate what is project management. Like they ask me, Valentina, what do you even do? And I'm like, I manage projects. And they're like, what do you mean by that? So a definition and characteristic of a project, it's that it's temporary and it aims to create a unique product, service, or result, meaning that they have defined start and end dates. So normally if a person in a bank, the regular bank job, they go each day and they get tickets and people, need the money, they need a loan. Those there are processes that they repeat day by day. They're not a new project that they're implementing. But for example, if at a bank, they need to renovate a branch because they have a new product, or now they're going to give loans digitally. That is a new product. They're launching a new, that's a new project because they're launching a new product. That's something that, okay, let's start today this project, and in 6 months we need to have this done. That is what a project is. For example, Fashion Week events, they need a new collection. That's a project. Humanitarian aid efforts, we need to, from the USA to Gaza, bring 10 airplanes filled with food. That is a project. And software applications, they have a goal in mind. So, that's part of a project too. And here, I really want to know that anybody from any background can transition to project management. It's really versatile, and it welcomes individuals from diverse professional backgrounds. And the main thing I want to say here is anybody can transition to it, because the main skills that you need are skills that you may already get from other projects, leadership, communication, problem solving. You can be a doctor and have these abilities. You can be a construction worker, have this, a veterinarian can be a problem solver. So don't be closed out on your field. I'm a finance major. I'm in IT now. And I'm only 30. I feel young, still I have a lot to learn, but in 7 years I've had a professional experience. I've been able to pivot so many times in different companies, job hopping until I think I found the project management job in the industry that I like. So don't be afraid to try things out. So job expectations. So the key responsibilities of a project manager are, getting this project handed to you. They say, okay, you're the project manager. First thing that you need to do is plan and define the project scope, goals, and deliverables. If they tell you need to build a house, okay, how big is the house? How much budget do I have? When do I have to deliver it? They say a White House. Is it marble, ivory, all the specifications? You need to be able to document them down. And that is a big part of project management, being able to document. If you think one thing and the client thinks that they're getting another thing, that's where, all the confusion happens and all the mess happens. So you need to be really detailed about what you're going to deliver and what they're expecting. So you also, after that, need to coordinate cross-functional teams to ensure the project milestones are met. So in my example, I get a software project and I have my team all over the place in the world. So I have developers from Brazil, but then the expert in Amazon Cloud is maybe in Sweden. So I need to be able to connect all those people to ensure, okay, you're doing this at this time, and then somebody else is handling this other part. It's coordination, and it's knowing each piece, who is going to be owning that. Project budget and resources. You need to manage those very well. So project budget, there's a lot of budgets that we're talking about. Money, time, resources. It could be resources that you have, physical resources, or resources can be your team. So you need to be able to put that into a plan and manage those effectively. If you know that you need to deliver in 6 months and 3 months, you're not halfway there, where are you going to change? You're going to put more resources into it. You need to be strategic. And then also communicating with stakeholders to provide updates and gather feedback. This for me is one of the most important things about project management that you need to be very aware of. Project managers need to communicate effectively. If you're an introvert and maybe you are not sure how to communicate with stakeholders, hey, we're behind budget, this is something that they are going to be expecting from you. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be, I'm not an extroverted person by nature. I say I'm one personality when I'm in my job, and I'm another one when I'm, at a party or anything else. but I do have the ability to communicate clearly. So it's being able to say, we are a little bit past budget, and not only deliver the problem to them, communicate it, but deliver solutions. But this is what we're gonna do about it. And, those are things that stakeholders are going to appreciate from you as a project manager. Identifying and mitigating project risk and issues. These come up so much in projects. Like, I've never had an 100% perfect project come through. Like, I can say I'm going to do this, this, and that in X amount of time. And it never goes that way, but you need to be able to adapt. And sometimes, like, as I said in the bottom, like, it's a portfolio project. Sometimes I have 5 to 10 projects. Not all of them are green. Some of them are amber or red. And I'm like, not panicking, because I need to be that person that mitigates the risks and the issues. It said, okay, my developer that was doing this whole project that's due tomorrow, he's sick today. He won't be able to show up. What am I going to do about it? Is there documentation that I asked from him before that he can, like, I can give to somebody else? It's being able to, on the spot, resolve these problems. And we do that every day of our lives. I need to make lunch in an hour, but then the chicken is in the freezer. What can I do about it? It's problem solving that you work on it every day, and you get better at it every single time. So this is something, as I said, that anybody can do. It's just being able to do it professionally in a professional environment. So these job expectations, when people ask me, what do you do as a project manager? I'm going to go to the next slide. And I think the next slide is something that I get told a lot. Oh, no, it's not. But then the key skills: leadership and team management, communication, collaboration, time management, organizational skills. All these, I think I've kind of touched on what they need. But the main reason why is because this is what we get told all the time as project managers. I get told, like, Valentina, you're basically a glorified babysitter, because people think that we're just, handling a team of babies that do not know how to do their job, and that we just need to be like, hey, knocking on their door. Have you done this? Have you done this? And that is like the perception of people out there, but it's really not that at all. I, as a project manager, I try to be a leader more than anything else. And I love communicating with my team. And I am the advocate for my team to be able to do their job in time and budget. It's not like I am just following up to make sure that they're doing it. I'm doing everything possible to help them get to that goal. So leadership and team management, I get this a lot. I need to work on this a lot every day. Sometimes my team is working slow, and I need to be able to assess, okay, they're doing the job very slowly. We're not going to reach this. And what I do is, hey, what do you think you need in order to do this by the time that you need to deliver it? Because I see that maybe you're falling behind. Maybe do you think it's a 2% job and we're handling over to you, you're saturated? Or maybe it's that we handed something over to you, but you're not, like, you don't know the system yet, and you need some education, and you need for us to, like, provide some education for you. Or maybe it's that they're handling family problems or something inside their house that prevents them from doing this. And you need to be very empathetic about this. You're leading a team. People hate their babysitters, or maybe they don't, but you don't think as a babysitter as a fun person that is there to help you. Think of them as the authority. And when you're a project manager, you see this in a lot of them. They do see themselves as, I am the authority, you respond to me, when it really should be, I'm the face of this project to the stakeholders. I really need this project to go well. What can I do for you? And what do you need from me in order to make that happen, like, as a team? And I try to be a fun project manager, if that exists. But my team members, they're not scared to say, Vale, I don't think I can do this on time, because you need listening skills, you need critical thinking, you need to be able to get those people to open up to you and tell you that on time. So for me, a project manager, as I said, is like a servant leader more than just an authority. For me, that's a key skill. Maybe this is not like a given, but this is, in my opinion, how I have succeeded. Yeah, so I became an IT project manager, not a glorified babysitter. And when it comes to remote work, these teams, what I was talking about, trust. They can trust that they can come to me with a problem, and I won't badger them. I won't be saying to my boss, hey, this person isn't following through on deadlines, or this person needs more education. Why did you hire them? They need to trust me that I will find a solution for them. This consistent communication ensures everybody understands the role, responsibilities, and the expectations from them. Because you do also have to be a little bit firm. Well, a little bit, no, you have to be firm on what you're expecting from that person and come to like an agreement from the beginning. If you set clear goals, you track your progress, it turns and like in turn it fosters reliable and trusted environment. You do regular check-ins and you try to be transparent. But those regular check-ins don't mean that every 15 minutes you're like, did you finish that yet? Did you finish? Because that becomes a little overpowering and obsessive. You need to trust that everybody in your team is as capable or even more capable than you of completing the work. So when it comes to remote teams, there are a lot of methodologies that are up and coming to manage projects, and it depends like the type of industry and everything else. We have the agile methodology, which is the one that I've seen used the most. It's an iterative approach focusing on continuous improvement and customer feedback. So we do a little bit at a time. We ask the customer, does this look okay? And they say, yes, but make this little change, and we do it again. And we don't spend like 1 month without talking to the customer. We do it like bit by bit. So at the end, they're not like, hey, from the beginning, this was wrong. So we try to continuously improve and get feedback. Scrum is actually a part of Agile, but it's a framework for managing complex projects with short, value-driven cycles called sprints. So Scrum, I am actually Scrum certified. I'm a certified Scrum Master, and it's a very rigid framework, and it's a very rigid way to handle projects. I haven't worked with the first company that is 100% Scrum, but they are out there. And I guess that it's not my preferred method because they're very rigid in, okay, we're going to have a sprint, which is like a cycle, which is going to last 2 weeks. And these are the things we're going to focus on. And each day we're going to have a meeting just to see how everybody is doing. And then at the end of the sprint, we have a ceremony, which says, okay, let's go back and see what went wrong, what went right, and take corrective action. So in theory, it's great because you're doing the same thing, the same process over and over again, and you're dividing the work into these cycles. But having daily calls and all that, it doesn't go with my management style, but it's great. And a lot of companies are looking for this, for Scrum masters, for ceremony masters, and people that can not do the work, but organize the people that are doing the work and make sure that every day they're telling you this went wrong, this went right, I'm ahead, I'm behind, and everything else. And then waterfall is a sequential project management methodology with distinct linear phases. So you go from project planning to requirements, analysis, design, coding, testing. It's like building a house. Like you can't build a house, like start by the windows. No, you need to lay the foundation. So that's like a more normal way to work. And I guess in remote environments now, if it's IT, you'll do Agile, Scrum. If it's something else, you probably do Waterfall. Okay, so moving on to software tools. So these are crucial, and these are going to be the things that you're going to be asked if you know about them on your interviews and the job descriptions. So project management tools are Microsoft Projects, Asana, Trello, Jira. Like companies normally stick to one. Right now, I use ClickUp, but I've used Asana, I've used Jira, Trello, everything else, and it's just a preference that they have. Most of them are exactly the same in functionality. They just have like different perks and advantages, pros and cons. But if you know one of them, it's really easy to like get a hold of all the other ones. It's not like you need a specific certificate, like, oh, I know Asana, check, prove it. This for me is essential to know, but it's not essential to know all of them. Communication tools, these are your day-to-day where you're going to be logging in. I use Slack, but we also have Microsoft Teams, Zoom. This is where you're going to be using everything. Slack is today, I think the most popular. Microsoft Teams, I guess, is for bigger corporations because you need like to pay more for your licenses. Zoom maybe as well. For Slack, it's really easy to set up. I have like a Slack workspace for one of my personal projects. I do it free, so you'll probably run into it. If you don't know Slack, take a quick tour on YouTube or download it yourself, just so you can get around, but it's super intuitive. And then collaboration reporting tools. It could be Google Workspace, Dropbox, Confluence, Tableau, Power BI. I honestly just use Google Drive. Power BI is more, and Tableau when you need to make reports, Kanban boards, Gantt charts, timelines, and everything else. Sometimes in IT, you don't really need that. But if it's construction and anything else, you might need to do these. And these reporting tools, like Tableau and Power BI, it may be good for you to do a quick course. It doesn't have to be a paid course either. But if they're asking for that in your job description, take a 2-hour YouTube free explainer because everything, like all the information is free right now on the internet. Like if you need to be certified, if nobody is asking for the certification, don't take it. Like all these things, you don't need certifications for any of them. Okay, moving on to industries for remote project managers. So I'd say and these percentages for me are demand right now. So IT and software, that's like 50% of the demand that is out there. That's what you'll see. Then marketing and advertising, 20%. Maybe this is a little like even higher because I see a lot of marketing agencies, they're digital right now. Everything that they can do, like software is digital. They do social media, they do campaigns, they do branding and everything else, and they do work by projects. So an agency is normally contracted by what was I gonna say? By business. Like, hey, I need to launch this new product. Can you do all the marketing, all the advertising? And that is a set project. And we're gonna launch in December for Christmas. And they always need project managers. So if you're creative, this is a good like industry to go into. Me, for example, I'm not creative at all. So when like they asked me in marketing or advertising to also like put my eye into the project to see the deliverables are okay. To me, I'm not like a good judge of character there. For me, everything's great. It's all pretty. Like, you must know where your strengths are. IT and software, it's easier to test if something works or not. You're supposed to click a button and it doesn't work. That's like a yes or a no. I like quality assurance in that way. Healthcare, it helps if you already have a healthcare background. It's a little bit more difficult to get into healthcare as a project manager if you don't have that. The healthcare work that I did was for a nonprofit. So we were delivering these pulse oximeter machines to pediatric hospitals. I needed to get a little bit of the context of what what the babies were suffering of, what the machine did. But yeah, that's why I got out of it because it wasn't my passion either. And then finance, there's a lot of project managers in finance because there's a lot of projects in finance that have to do like valuations on a company. Like a lot of agencies do this when a company needs to go public, they need a valuation, or in finance with software, there's a lot in fintech. So those two come together. If a digital bank, for example, Wise or PayPal is launching a new product, you need project managers to oversee the entire process and all the milestones and what are the expectations. So for me, these are the main industries. Obviously, you can find in, actually I work for a video company. We're doing 3D videos for biotechnologies. So there's everything out there. I found that one through Upwork. So let yourself, go into new fields. If you're a good project manager, you can manage projects in any single field. You just need to know like the basics of the process. You initiate, you plan, you monitor and control, you close the project, and then you do like a handoff. Okay, so now talking about certifications for remote project managers. As I said, this is not needed, but it will definitely push you forward in your project management career because there's so many project managers out there that maybe don't have these and they're still getting jobs, but the ones that do have these get the first look because it's like in a search for a PMP project manager. If you have that, you're going to be first in the results. So PMP is from this project management institute that I have at the upper right. This is an institute that I love it because it has a lot of free courses, paid courses, webinars. It's a community really that you can either pay. I've never paid like to be a member, and I don't think it's needed, but I'm sure that it gives a lot of benefits. I just can't speak for myself. I actually started with them with not the PMP, but the one below. So I didn't have any experience, and they have a certified associates in project management, which is CAPM. I guess it's a first stepping stone before the PMP. And that one, I studied for like 3 weeks using a course from Udemy. I don't know if they knew on the page, but it's like a lot of online courses. I bought it for like $20. I paid the registration fee and I passed it in 3 weeks. It's not complicated. It's just a framework that they advise to use. So the one I was talking about before, like initiating, planning, monitoring, executing. That's like, it's a lot of memorizing this in order to pass, but it's not that every project you're going to manage is going to be managed this way. It's just like a framework that they support, but it's really difficult to stick to one framework. So after my CAPM, I said, okay, this is not as, whoops, this is not, I think I closed my screen. Yep. Let me stop sharing 1 second, I'll reshare. But yeah, what I said is the PMP was the one that was the most sought out. And the one that I said, okay, this is paying the most. So sorry that this is happening. Let me go back to where I was. 1 second. I need to stop playing with the keyboards. Okay, let's see. So yeah, the PMP, once I had the CAPM, then the PMP was, people get really scared about it, and it's the same curriculum, basically. So I barely had to study because I had studied before. If you've never studied for anything in the PMI, study because it's not easy, but it's like nothing that you can't pass. If you have a course, I can actually put in the chat later, or if anybody can reach out to me asking for the course, I'll send the link. And yeah, it's very like a lot of people ask for this in job descriptions. So if you have it, it's like check, check, check. Then the certified Scrum Master, it focuses on Agile and Scrum methodologies, essential for managing remote teams. So these Agile, as I said, it was a lot about IT. And if you're going into tech, which in my opinion is a good way to go because they pay way more than other maybe project managers, because you need to be specialized in this technology, in this approach, Agile. And I actually got into tech without any tech experience. So they just reached out to me on Upwork, and I was in my profile a regular project manager. And I said, okay, I am a good project manager. I have the skills and leadership communication needed, but as of IT, I don't know anything. You know, they said, don't worry, we'll teach like everything you need to know about our solution or technology, you'll learn about it. I was like, okay, and that's what I did. And same for my current job, you know, they're Airtable consultants. I had no idea what Airtable was when I first got, you know, approached for this job. And you learn it. When it comes to the softwares, you learn everything. Then Agile Certified Practitioner, this is from the PMI as well. This is not like Certified Scrum Master is not from PMI. There's many institutions that can certify you as an Agile Certified Practitioner, but not PMI specifically. Oh no, Certified Scrum Master, but this is the Agile one from PMI. This one, it's really useful as well. Then if you want to go to a more simple one, I would say the Google Project Management Certificate. It's super practical and accessible. I think it's even free. So if you want to start here, I would say just dip your toes in, see if it's something that you enjoy, that you like. And then you can put that into your profile and see if you're getting any requests for, you know, interviewing or anything, put in your CV. And if not, if maybe you're looking at jobs and job descriptions and they're specifically asking for CSM or PMP, I would consider doing these. And obviously PMP, for example, it's a big investment. I think what I paid at the moment was like $500, but it has paid off like 10 times that investment. And it's an investment for you. You can be a PMP and never be a project manager, but still you learn so much about, as I said in the beginning, just how to manage projects within your own personal life, within like everything else. Everything's a project, like losing weight. I need to lose 10 kilos in a month. How am I going to do that? You write down your goals, your expectations, you do a plan. For me, it's the best investment I've ever made. So I really recommend it. And then the Prince 2, this is more for construction, other things. I've never used it. I don't really see it being asked. But it's a process-based approach for project management to ensure efficiency and consistency. Look into that one. I haven't used it or I haven't been asked to use it in IT. But yeah, if you just want to dip your toes, Google Project Management Certificate. But then Project Management Professional, really recommended. And then Scrum Master and Agile, those are more if you want to go into tech. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask anything about certifications, you know, level of difficulty, which one I think I'm recommending already, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so practices for remote project management. These are my do's and don'ts and what I've seen that works for me. So do set clear project objectives and deliverables to ensure everybody's on the same page. You always want everybody to be on the same page from the beginning. So you're setting expectations, you know, Mary will do this, John will do this other thing, and I will send a report to the clients every Friday that they can expect. That for me is, and it's obviously a lot to promise, you know, you don't want to promise that you're going to do something and then don't do it, but it keeps you accountable even with yourself. And I've seen that those like Friday reports, if it's Monday and I didn't send it, I don't remember what I did last week. Like it's beneficial for you as well to keep everything organized. You know, it's sometimes, you know, I don't want to do a report Friday 5 p.m., but it's the best practice that I've been able to adopt as project manager. But yeah, schedule regular check-ins and updates to maintain consistent communication. Some of my clients, I do like, okay, once a week, let's meet for 30 minutes. I have an agenda to talk about, you know, what we did, what's going on, if we have any blockers and all that. Choose the right tools for collaboration, whether it be ClickUp, Asana, Power BI normally. If it's your company, they're the ones choosing that, but you can always tell them, you know, I don't think that Asana is working for me. Maybe ClickUp works a little bit better. And then foster a strong remote team culture by encouraging a sense of community and teamwork. I talked about this a little bit already. Okay, I have a question. Can you please recommend platforms where we can take project management courses? Yes, either the PMI.org or Udemy. I think this is the name of the instructor. I'm gonna put it in the chat where I did the like prepare for the PMP. It was a course in Udemy by Josh Phillips. Thank you, Deborah. Yes, get in touch with me for sure. Anything you need. I'm really happy to hear that. Okay, so don'ts. These don'ts are from my particular personal experience. I hate getting last minute meetings that are like from another project manager or from somebody that think that something is absolutely urgent when really it's not. You need to know really that in remote workspaces, everybody is working in different time zones. So my 1:45 p.m. is somebody else's 6:45 a.m. And there's people that don't really respect those boundaries in time. And I'm like, oh, can you meet in 5 minutes? I can be having lunch. I'm remote. Like you need to really respect that people will do their jobs. So yeah, 5 minute meeting, I request like minimum 4 hours before to tell me for a meeting. Do not call out teams members publicly for mistakes. So approach them privately and constructively. If that person didn't meet a deadline, don't tell your boss, as I said before. Just try to ask them, like, Deborah, what do you think happened? Like, did I put a limit on your time before? Just talk to them before, because calling people out, it's one of the worst things you can do for even their well-being. You don't know who's behind that computer. Like, I don't know any of my team members in person. I don't know if they're struggling with, I don't know, anxiety or public anxiety. Sometimes they're developers, software developers. They like to be stuck to their screen always, and calling people out is really bad for, their self-confidence too. You can ruin somebody's self-confidence in a second by doing this. Never lie on documentation or hide risk from clients. I've seen a lot of people do this. They don't want to tell clients what's really going on because they think they'll be able to fix it. But I think that honesty from the beginning is the best approach, because there's some things you won't be able to hide or won't be able to, cover up. And it's better from the beginning to be really transparent about this, to see maybe the client didn't even need that feature, or maybe the client has somebody on their team that can help. So never lie. And yeah, disrespecting time zones and working hours can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. For me, burnout culture is a no-go. If I'm hired to work 8 hours, I'm going to work 8 hours. And if I need to work a little bit more, maybe next day I can get into work a little bit later, and do that with team members as well. If they need to work until the night, then I tell them next day, hey, take the morning off. We need to be really flexible. And if you're not getting paid overtime, don't work overtime. And yeah, follow up and offer support when needed. Don't just like trust that a job is going to get done and then a month later ask, okay, the deadline was today, so you have it done? And they're like, oh no, and there's nothing you can do about it at this point. So where to look for remote PM jobs? I know that for remote work, there's a lot of information out there. If you go on TikTok, people are gonna be like, oh, here are 25 job boards where you can find remote work. And it's like virtual nomads, or we work remotely, or remote okay. And in my experience, looking for jobs in those 25 pages is just a waste of time. Because if you really know what you're looking for, you need Upwork for freelancing jobs, and LinkedIn for more like serious full-time jobs. So Upwork is this platform where everybody's looking for freelancers, everybody's looking for work. It can be like, I've done a lot of projects on Upwork where they're constantly looking for project managers. And maybe it's because I work in a personal project. I need to launch a course on project management, and I need somebody to help me because I need to launch it in 4 weeks. And that is the extent of that contract with that person. And I've helped a lot of those before. So because everything is maybe shorter, more immediate, the hiring process normally goes much faster than like a full-time job, 9 to 5, indefinite contract on LinkedIn. So this is what I like because you can, like I said before, dip your toes in different types of projects, and you can even have more than one contract at the same time. So I've been juggling like a portfolio of projects. I did them before. I got burned out because I had a 9 to 5 too. And, right now my mental well-being is a little bit more important. But at the time, I needed the money. And, I started with $15 an hour, like 3 years ago. And right now my Upwork profile has $40 an hour. Last job I got was 35. Like I haven't gotten 40 an hour in a long time. But it's just to set the expectation that people are not gonna, like, if you have 40 in your profile, they're not gonna say, hey, I can pay you 7. Obviously your profile can be a little bit lower, but just manage the expectation. You're a PMP certified project manager, you have experience, value your own work. So for example, this is something that I saw today. Like I just copy pasted it. This is an example of what they would ask for in a project management job for Upwork. So you just need to manage project timelines, budgets, resources, coordinate with internal teams, provide regular updates to a CEO, and ensure projects are delivered on time and within scope. Here, actually, my searches on Upwork, the good thing is that they have like an algorithm, and you get suggested jobs based on your experience, on jobs you've looked at before, your searches. So they already always, the algorithm gives me PMP certified jobs. They pay 15 to 25 an hour. And yeah, this is like a job that I could apply to. One thing I need to like point out is that not everybody knows what a project manager is supposed to do, like based on the PMP framework. So sometimes, yeah, you get asked to be a project manager, but then you end up being like a virtual assistant, which if you're being paid as a project manager, I guess it's fine because it's easier work, but it's a fine line for people what a virtual assistant is versus a project manager. So in this job description, I can know that they know that project managers coordinate internal teams, identify and mitigate project risk. This is what a project manager does. Sometimes it's like, oh, can you schedule my calendar for me and book my flights and reply to my emails? And that's a little bit more virtual assistant. Okay, I think I am running out of time. So where to look for remote PM jobs, like LinkedIn. So there's a powerful platform, obviously LinkedIn. At this point of time, almost everybody, and I'm sure everybody here has a LinkedIn profile because it's our like doorway to our career. Everything in our career, we have it in LinkedIn. So you need to ensure your LinkedIn profile is updated and it showcases your PM skills and experience. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. So if you didn't join my session, I talked about, the keywords, the skills that you can put in your CV and in your LinkedIn, so that when somebody searches for project manager in Ghana, you're one of the first people that pop up, and they're going to be able to like send a message and say, hey, Valentina, I saw that your skills are good for my job position that is open. Let's talk. Also, LinkedIn is good for connecting with industry professionals and join relevant groups to expand your network. Will a website with your profile work? Yes, obviously it will work, but I guess it's, well, the question, I'm going to read it. Why do employers only look at your LinkedIn profile? Will a website with your profile work? Yes, but I guess the first place where people look for professionals is LinkedIn. So if in your LinkedIn profile you have a website link to your website and you have everything there, that's great. You just need to make sure that you have it maybe in a featured section, or that it's really clear that this is your profile. But people don't normally go into Google and Google Project Manager Ghana and get your profile as, like, because of SEO, or they get a lot of junk before. So maybe your website is like in page 2 of Google, which basically doesn't exist because nobody goes there. So yeah, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date and including your website. but I hope that answers the question. So yeah, the good thing about LinkedIn is that you can make these searches. For example, project manager in Ghana, jobs. I always try to filter by in the past month or the past week, if I want to be like more precise, and remote. So this is a very important filter. But when I did this morning, actually, I saw that for Ghana, there's only 8 results, for example. So I could set this alert, and this will give me in my inbox, email inbox, anytime a new job is posted, I'll get it in my inbox. I don't need to be like searching every day, wasting my time. This is where take advantage of automations and everything that is out there. Like you don't need to do all the work. LinkedIn will do it for you. But then I searched EMEA, which is Europe, Middle Eastern, Africa, and there's a bunch more, like 1,318 results if you look at it this way. So you can set this alert. Obviously, you need to look for like through more jobs because there's more requests. So I, for example, here with the past week, so I see maybe just 200. And then out of those 200, sometimes you see that they're in Spain or in the UK or in France, anywhere else, but still because they're remote, they would be open to hiring people in Ghana, in Kenya, anywhere else. And I see that, you know, Africa, it's such a multicultural place, and you have a lot of languages, which is great because some of these job descriptions, they're asking for English, French. If you already have that and they're asking for that in Spain, for example, you're like 10 steps ahead of all those people that are going to be applying in Spain. So go ahead and apply. Don't think that because they're looking for specifically in France or anybody else, if they're open to EMEA, I call it EMEA, but I don't know how to say it in English. It's because they really are open to hiring anybody in that region. And because they're remote, they probably have contractors or anybody else. So go ahead and look for these jobs and apply. So yeah, just a little bit of a mindset for success to wrap things up. You know, you need to empower yourself, trust in your abilities and intuitions that the answers are within you when you go to, you know, interviews and everything else. Just empower yourself as a good project manager. You just need to believe it so you can sell it. And by selling it, you know, polish your messaging, be clear, persuasive, you know, when you go into this interview, show why you're the perfect fit for the role, and then stay committed. This stay committed is, I know, not easy for everybody. You know, I need to set goals, use a timer, and stay focused on your tasks. So if I said I'm going to study for the PMP, let's not start by, okay, I'm gonna do 4 hours a day. You can start by just like, for example, in these next 2 days, I'm gonna take 30 minutes to really understand what the PMP is about to see if I want to take it. And then when I decide to take it, I'm gonna take 4 weeks, 1 hour a day to study using the course that Valentina sent me. And then I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna do it every day from 7 to 8. That is the best way to stay organized, focused, and to make sure that well, that's a project. Studying for PMP is a project. So you deliver the project to yourself and you manage those goals and expectations. So yeah, growth and career development, allow yourself to be a beginner because no one starts off being excellent. I was a beginner. If I look back and I think back at my first job as a PM, like as a project manager, I cringe. I say, like, Valentina, I can't believe you were that person and that you were not asking questions in meetings because you thought that you needed to know everything. You know, allow yourself to not know everything, to ask questions, to make sure that you understand what you're doing. And in that sense, you know, define career objectives and plan your growth path. For me, it was first taking the CAPM, then the PMP. Now, for example, I want to be more focused on IT things. So I might take more AWS certifications or more Airtable certifications so I can niche down. And yeah, join industry groups, attend networking events, find mentors and coaches who can provide guidance and support. So if you reach out to people that are already doing the job that you want to do. I'm sure that if you start out not by saying, hey, can you mentor me for 1 hour? No, you need to start by saying, I see your career development, what you've been doing. I'm really impressed by this and this. Could I pick your brain for 15 minutes? Because I'm really interested in using my strengths. They're people, and you need to be human in that sense as well. You wouldn't ask somebody like, hey, can you donate an organ for me? You need to do it slowly. I don't know why that example came to my mind, but that's what came up to my mind. Keep up with the latest developments in your field to stay competitive. So if you're seeing that, if you're in IT and there's this new software that came up, everybody is using, I don't know, the Cloud9. Be curious. Say like, don't stay in your lane. Be like, okay, what is this Cloud9 that everybody's talking about? What is this crypto? What is this currency or anything? And try to stay competitive. And then encourage ongoing skill development and continuous learning. This for me, basic. Be curious and hungry to learn. If you have somebody in your job already that, they're succeeding, they were a project manager, then now they're a senior project manager, you can ask them like, hey, did you take any special courses, or what do you think helped you go from junior to senior? What tips can you give me? Always reach out, because people want to help and people want you to succeed. Well, the best type of people do. It's not competitive. You're on your own path, and you're not going to rob anybody else's job by reaching out and doing this. So yeah, be curious and hungry to learn. And then as a recap, because I think I have oh no, I'm past 1 minute, sorry. Outline job expectations, including creative responsibilities, discuss the essential skills, which for me are soft skills for project management. Review the software tools, which all of these, as I said, you can learn. You don't need certifications for this. And then project management methodologies like Agile, Scrum, Waterfall. Well, I didn't mention Kanban and Lean, but I don't think that they're that important. And yeah, best of luck in your remote project management journey. This is my email if you want to ask me any questions. And on Instagram, that is my handle. But as I said yesterday, most of my content is actually in Spanish. But if you shoot me a message, I'll happily respond in English. Just let me know if you need any tips. Maybe if you have your CV, you want me to take a quick look at it. Super willing to help you out in that as well. And let me see if there's any questions I haven't asked. There are specifications to project management, which is yours. Specifications, you mean industry, or maybe my project management? I'm in tech. So right now what I do for work is, my specialty. So I work with a company that we're consultants for Airtable, which is a collaboration database. Right now, do you do project management and accounting, or just do you do accounting? Because I actually started in finance. I worked for construction projects, and I was the one that asked for loans in the bank. I realized that's not what I wanted to do. So I started with project management in construction, then healthcare, and then in IT, I was a complete beginner. But they taught me everything I needed to know, for example, of Airtable. So I get projects where I need to set up a database this and that way. And it takes me 2 months, and that's the type of projects I handle with developers and solutions architects and all that. Let me know if I answered the question, if you have any more questions about that. But yeah, I don't have any IT experience, or I didn't before. Yeah, email or Instagram. I can do both. I'm actually trying to do a little how do you say this? Detoxing from my phone. So Instagram, I have my notifications off, but I check it every day. Who doesn't check Instagram every day nowadays? Millennials. Thank you, Eke. If you get in touch, really, how long will it take to get a first PM job online? Okay, that is a good question. It depends really, as I said, if it's a PM job and Upwork, which is a contractor based, for Upwork, they don't really need to sign a specific contract saying that they'll pay medical and insurance and everything else. That's normally what takes the processes to be super lengthy. For Upwork, you can literally get a job next week and they'll try you out. They'll say, okay, let's work for half-time, like part-time first, and then full-time. You get like this period of adaptation, and it doesn't work. The worst that can happen is they just close a contract with you and that's it. You know, they hire quick because it's easy to hire and it's easy to let go. So obviously they're not gonna let you go if you're a project manager. But what I mean is it's super quick. It could be super quick. Oh, thank you for being in both sessions. Yeah, get in touch. And I think this is the end of my presentation actually, so I don't have anything else. But yeah, Isaac or anybody from Online Work Africa really wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. I loved speaking with everybody, and yeah, if any other opportunities come up, be happy to join. What's the longest contract you've had for remote work? Well, actually, my longest contract is my current job right now, where I am about to go to 2 years in August 1st, which is like next week. That is, and it's a full-time contract, but I'm a freelancer, so they just pay me twice a month, and from that money, I pay my own insurance, my own retirement, and my own everything. Like they don't cover anything else, and they could technically fire me tomorrow. Like there's no permanency or anything. But yeah, I hope they don't, and I hope to ask for a raise because it's been 2 years and we deserve raises because inflation. I don't, oh, thank you. I don't think I missed any questions, but yeah, let me know, just reach out and follow me if you'd like. If not, email is fine. Thank you. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end this because I'm gonna value your time as well. Maybe it's lunchtime. But yeah, thank you so much. Gonna end for all.